Well, just yesterday I was complaining about how I wanted to shave every hair off my head. And then today, look at this. Look at this beautiful mane. Now I'm in a good mood about it. So I also wanted to make a video about, and I can make, like, I could perfect this. I could put a styling product to make it a bit more smooth. I could bump out the curls a bit with my flat iron. I could trim the ends. That would be great too. But I'm just scared to touch it. I'm like, it's good now. Let's just leave it. You know what I mean? And, I have had many, 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 many of these moments in my life where I'm like, this was the best day of my life. And it was like simply because the day that I discovered plumeria flowers here in Mexico, and I picked a plumeria flower off the ground and smelled it. And it was like a kaleidoscope exploded in my brain. And I was like, everything in my life was worth it to get to this moment to experience this flower. I can be so seriously romantic and so intense about, the good things in life, right? That's the thing. The depths you're willing to go to, in one direction, allow you to go to the depths in the opposite direction. So, yeah. I experienced so many. It's so funny for me to be like, everything in my life was worth it for this moment, or I'm like, this was the best day of my life, and it's because one day when I lived in the Crow's Nest Pass, I drove into this place called Pincher Creek on Halloween, and I was driving through this little tiny neighborhood, and I'm talking, this is like a really off the grid kind of little town. And I'm driving this quiet little side street in the middle of nowhere, and I see this black cat posed and perched by the side of the road on Halloween, wearing an orange collar. I stopped the car in the middle of the road. I rolled down the window and I said, "You look really nice." And the cat went, meow, and just continued to pose there, and then I was like, this was the best day of my life. And most of these best days of my life, yeah, they involved animals, they involve plants. That's kind of the spirit I came into this world under in many ways. I took a picture yesterday. I wanted to take a picture of I don't know, I think it might have been my hair or something else. And I was like, I don't know what picture to take. And so I went and stood by this big plant inside my house, and I don't know what to pose. So I just did this random pose and took the picture. And then I looked at it after, and it struck me. It was the exact pose that I had done in a picture of myself. One of my favorite photos from when I was a kid. And someone with a life like mine, without a constant sense of home. I had pictures and albums and stuff from when I was young. My mother was really into that stuff at one point. So I have these albums of me and stuff like that. And there was this one photo of me. I was 2 or 3 years old, and I was wearing these little red overalls, and I experienced the giant tortoise at the zoo. And I remember seeing this thing, and it was like the moment I saw the ocean in the Turks and Caicos for the first time. I was just dumbfounded, and I was like, this is an experience of God right now. That was a profound moment in my life. But also seeing this giant turtle who was almost on eye level with me back then. And I was just spellbound. And the picture of me shows me, I don't have a free hand, but it's I have my hand up to my ear, and I'm listening, leaning in towards the tortoise, and it's just so cute, I don't know why, what compelled me to do that. I never really posed for pictures or anything like that, so I don't know if it was a candid or whatever. But then I saw that picture of me yesterday, full grown, 42 years old, doing this to a plant in my house, a giant plant. I can't do it quite as good, but oh man, it really struck me. And I was like, man, that little sorceress grew up to become a big sorceress who still is interested in listening to plants and animals and the wisdom that they carry for her and her life. And I didn't mean to go on this gigantic rant. I came on here to share my hair and also this beautiful moment I had the other day. And I was like, this was the best moment of my life. Of course, I've thought this multiple times. But there's like many places in this house where you catch cross breezes. And the other day I had the window open in this one room. And, this place is huge. There's tons of hiding spots too. Maurice can go in and outside, whatever. Like, she loves it, So sometimes she follows me around, but usually if I'm in the kitchen or if I go to bed, she'll follow me to those places. She'll follow me to those places, but like, not rest of the time. So there I am. I'm in this room. And I just stop in this like shaft of sunlight with like the perfect cross breeze like coming through. I just felt like it was cleansing my entire soul. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, oh my God, this is such a beautiful spiritual moment. This is the perfect spot to be in the world right now. And then in the same moment, I thought, oh, I wish I had someone to share this with. And I turned and I looked. And there was Maurice, a few feet away in the little shaft of sunlight with her head up and her eyes closed, sniffing the air of the breeze, just enjoying the moment too. It was the cutest thing ever, And that's one thing I love about cats. That's one thing I share in common with them is like, I know how to find the good spots. The cat will always find like the warmest, highest spot with like the best view in a house, and I'm kind of like that too. So that was honestly one of the cutest, best moments of my life. So I share those too. I don't just share the worst ones, right? I share the best and the worst. I put them all into my ebooks, which you can find in the links on my channel as well. And I also write about them a lot on Facebook. I started sharing my writings on Facebook, and they're usually pretty emotional, pretty touching. Some people may find them offensive. Some people, they get emotional or whatever for positive, for ill or for better. I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know. That's all I wanted to share today. I really kind of want to go to a cafe and work on something for tonight. I'm always working on something. And somehow things always work out for me.